It's the All-Star game tonight.
Oh, is that right?
That's right. Are you a basketball fan?
No, I had no idea, man. I had no idea.
Yeah. It goes on. They're going to start about 8 o'clock tonight. All right. So let me do it. What's that?
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I'm listening.
No, I was going to say I'm going to do a quick introduction. We're going to get right into it. We're actually on right now. So
okay, awesome.
Again, so I just want to introduce myself, Rick Young. Another segment of What's in Your Hand here at WHCR 90.3. Oh, excuse me, 95 GHCR. Because we got two radio stations. We got the two sister stations. So we're at GHCR 95.9 FM. You could also catch us on YouTube, live at Grant. Right, live at Grant, and then you could also catch us at ghcr.nyc. Those are a few of the platforms that you could listen to our shows. So today I have a very unique guest. I'm excited. He is a uniquely gifted and connected with audience in both live and through different media formats. His story and what he has achieved through changing his thoughts and beliefs about himself is very compelling. My guest is extremely comfortable speaking to many different topics and overcoming how to live a champion life, nutrition and exercise, actionable beliefs, and many others. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome the author of Faith and Fat Loss, Ron Williams. How are you doing today, Ron Williams?
Man, I'm doing awesome, especially now that I'm talking to you.
All right, man. So now you got this book, Faith and Fat Loss. What is that all about?
Well, it's for many years I worked with just athletes, and one day there was just a paradigm shift, and I started working with people that are overweight and obese, and that's been the last 20 years. And I had a paradigm shift to realize that people that are overweight and obese, if they live in America, it's not all their fault. There's 75 reasons actually of why people are overweight and obese. And I began to discover those reasons, and people that carry excess body fat, they have at least 3. Some have 20 reasons why they're overweight and obese. And my job is to help them unravel and find out what those reasons are. Some are emotional, some are physical, some are economical, some are environmental. I mean, I should go on, and 12 of them are spiritual. So dealing with that, I've been able to help thousands of people turn that situation around through some of the circumstances that I've gone through. And, so the book is amazing. Every time I look at it, I think, man, you didn't like this. You had a lot of help from upstairs like this one.
Right. Now, did you have any issues with weight loss yourself?
Well, strangely enough, even though I competed and I won the Mr. Universe 7 times, I had a problem with an eating disorder that was developed in my childhood. Yeah, so I had a real problem with eating, which creates an overweight problem.
Well, just for your information, I think you might know this, Ron, that a lot of people have issues with eating and don't really know how to eat properly. That's just my opinion. Am I correct on that?
You're absolutely correct, man. You're right on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right on.
So what is the first step for someone to learn how to eat properly, eat healthy, and I guess when you do that, does that give you a higher quality of life?
It would give you a high quality of life. All the way around, the way you think and the way you feel about yourself, and just the way you go through life. A lot of people like to make excuses because when it comes to eating, man, it's pretty tough because we have more than one appetite. But the appetite of eating is one that's visibly seen. You have an appetite for sex, you have an appetite to work. You have all different types of appetites. But if your appetite is out of balance when it comes to eating, it just shows up on your body. Everybody sees it before they ever talk to you. But they don't know the other appetites that you had, but they're off kilter. But the probably the first step to changing your eating habits is first to acknowledge that something's wrong. Many people, even though they're overweight, they can be diabetic, high blood pressure, not willing to admit that they're carrying too much weight. They're not willing to admit that they need to change.
Mm-hmm. Now, you said you won.
So the first step.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, they're not willing to change or admit that they have a problem, so they make an excuse for it. Oh, my dad was overweight, my mom was overweight, so I carry an extra weight, but I'm healthy. But they don't have to remain that way. Yeah.
Right. Now, you say you won the Mr. Natural Universe 7 times. What is Mr. Natural Universe? What is that?
That means it's without any drug enhancing properties. So you didn't take steroids or anything that's unnatural. And they actually test you for it and to make sure that you're clean. And so, they inducted me into the Hall of Fame a couple years back. And if you get caught for cheating, they induct you into the Hall of Fame. It's called the Hall of Shame. Yeah.
Wow, interesting. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people got busted on that, huh?
Yeah, well, there's quite a few. Yeah.
There's something that a lot of people have issues with: high blood pressure and diabetes. And how does all that stuff work when it comes to your nutrition and eating?
Well, one thing, you have people that, you put them on we call it 21 Day Jump Start. What the 21 days is supposed to do is to set you up to start decreasing body fat. But what it does, it cleanses the cells from fat loss resistant chemicals that you get through our environment, through the water we drink, through the foods that we eat. It helps to set you up to prepare you to lose body fat. You eat a proper combination of foods, fats, protein, and carbohydrates in the right combinations. And what that does, it opens the cell up so that you can start decreasing the body fat. And when those toxins, fat loss resistant toxins, flush out, some of the fat that's in the cell is only in the cell because that toxin is there. When the toxin leaves, the fat follows it right out of the system. So if people lose up to 30 pounds, never being hungry in 21 days, and they wonder, man, this is the miracle. No, it's science. They're eating what they're supposed to eat to help them get rid of the body fat. So that's one of the things we need to get started. After that, we put you on a program that is to take you from where you are at that moment to where you want to be.
Yeah, so I'm young. I don't have to be concerned about high blood pressure, diabetes, because I'm a young person. How young do you have to start?
Yeah.
How young do you have to be when you have to start saying, you know what, I need to make some smart choices with my eating and nutrition?
Well, it doesn't matter what age you are. I remember 3 years ago, I started working with this lady who had been on a program. She was 72 years old, and she said, I can't lose weight. I've tried every program out there. And she said, the last program I was on it for a whole year, and I lost 2 pounds. And she said, I don't think you can help me. Her husband's a doctor, and he asked me, he said, can you help my wife? Because I trust you. They had heard me speak, and after I finished, we worked with her for 4 months, and the 40 pounds that she was trying to get rid of, it was gone. And she's maintained it. I just talked to her last week, and the weight she still hasn't put it back on yet. So that's what I consider a program that really works if you can keep the weight off for more than 3 years.
Mm-hmm. So okay, so right now, well, first of all, let me just back up for a second. I'm here in the studio here in New York City. I'm wearing this hat that says Success Mindset. I'm kind of proud of that hat. I got it made up. So my question to you is, what is this thing called mindset? What is that?
Well, mindset, I think, has been overused and actually abused in such and diminished to just a good feeling or saying I am. Rehearsing and repeating who you want to be, saying that's who you are when it's really not. But mindset really has everything to do with actionable beliefs, not just positive affirmation, but positive affirmations that actually have actionable beliefs. So let me give an example, Rick. If I were to say, that was really, really a good question. You went straight to the quick, man. If I say that I'm a great husband, then this thought comes in my head that says, what makes you think you're a great husband? There's no proof that you're a great husband. So there's no proof to back it up. I look in the mirror and say, I'm this great guy. What makes me that great guy? There must be some actionable beliefs that actually prove that that's who you are. When I won the first Mr. Universe, I won it 2 years before I ever competed. But I won it in my mind. And it was reality. It wasn't just name claiming. This was real. I went 2 years into the future. I saw myself on stage. I felt the audience. It was real to me. And I backed all the way up to where I was, and I started. I started with a process. This is the way I train. This is the way I eat. This is my thought process. If you ask me to cheat on my diet, it's an impossibility. Why? Not I'm trying to be Mr. Universe. I am Mr. Universe. And so I began to live the life of Mr. Universe. I trained harder than anybody else. I ate more clean than everyone else. And I walked the walk. And so you asked me, what was your actionable beliefs? Well, I studied the lives of the last 7 Mr. Universes. I studied their lives, how they thought. I studied how they ate, how they trained. And most of them, if they did lunges, for example, this is one exercise. If they did lunges, they would do 100 lunges, which equals 100 meters. I did 800 lunges. People say, why did you do that? That's a half mile of lunges. How many times there's a half mile of lunges? They say, why would you do that? Because I'm Mr. Universe. Mr. Universe does what nobody else is willing to do. So whenever those thoughts came to me of failure, you can't do this, you won't do this, who do you think you are? I had the actionable beliefs to say, I'm Mr. Universe because this is what I do. I'm Mr. Universe because this is who I am. This is how I live. And so those actionable beliefs helped to push me forward to accomplish whatever it was that I said that I am.
Wow. That's pretty amazing. That is pretty amazing. So now, where do you live?
I actually live in Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm like Moses, man. I left where I was from and went to a desert for 40 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm in Salt Lake. That's high desert.
What you say? It's high desert.
Yeah, it's a high desert because it's snow here. The best on the planet, which I don't really like snow that much, but it's a really, really lovely place to live, man. Lovely place.
Wow.
I started my life over. Yeah, I got a brand new start here.
Now, where did you grow up? Where were you raised?
I grew up in Indianapolis. I was born and raised in the ghetto, man. And I had a ghetto mentality, which is a scary place to be. And to look back and to see where I was to where I am today, it looks like a miracle. It was an absolute miracle.
Well, how did you change your mindset from living in a ghetto to all of a sudden wanting to do the work that you're doing now?
Well, I really believe that this really was a God thing, but there were some things that I had to do, some choices that I had to make. Living in the ghetto where I was, it was like a vicious cycle. Most people don't get out. But I had to hate everything about it. It's like, and it's hard to get out because if you like anything or love anything about it, it's that one thing that's like a vacuum that'll suck you back in. It was the clothing, it's, the wearing your pants down around your bottom, and it's the thought process, the language, everything. That's what it took for me to get out. I began to hate what it produced in the lives of people that were around me. And so when I began to hate that, it didn't matter what was on the outside because I didn't know what was outside of the ghetto because that's all I knew. But when you hate your condition enough, you're willing to experience the unknown because it couldn't be worse. Whatever's out there, it can't be worse than where I am now. So I'm gonna take a shot. And I walked out. I remember the day I walked out, and I moved to Salt Lake City, Utah. I had a pretty decent job when I was in Indianapolis, but I had 6 kids, 4 different mothers, and it was killing me, man, financially. So I couldn't just do a regular job. I had to become an entrepreneur and make it big in order to get above what was facing me.
Wait a minute. I want to make sure I heard you right. Did you just tell me that you had 6 kids?
6 kids with 4 different mothers and wasn't married.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Say that one more time. I didn't really hear that. Say it again. 6 kids.
6 kids, 4 different mothers.
Yeah.
And wasn't married.
Wow. Yeah. It was funny because I was just thinking in my mind, I wanted to give you a challenge. I think I could pass that up. One of my all-time favorite questions. You just knocked that out the box, man. I can't come with that weak. That's like a weak question. If I was to ask you that question now, that would be like a weak question compared to what you just said. Man, that's the first time that has ever happened.
Yeah, wow.
I've done over 900 shows. That has never happened, man.
Well, they always say it's the first for everything, man.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You kind of knocked it out the box, but I'm going to just say it anyway because people probably think, well, what is that question? I'm going to just say it anyway. What I would ask my guests, which would be you, I would say, so I'm going to give you, Ron, $100. And we're going to put you...
You're going to give me what?
$100, $100. Right?
Uh-huh.
And we're going to put you, Ron Williams, in a city where you don't know anyone, and you have to work with that $100. You got to find a place to eat, live, and work from there. And you can't call up anybody, friend, brother, cousin, sister, hey, help me out. You have to use your skills, your talents, and the resources of that city that you're in, a city where you don't know anyone. What would Ron Williams do? I mean, but go ahead. I'll let you handle that.
Well, one thing, man, that's awesome because I was on the streets by the time I was 15, man. And I stayed on the streets for a while, and I ended up going in the military when I was 18. Stayed in school during those years. But, yeah, it was, if you gave me $100 and put me on the streets, I could survive. There's no situation I couldn't thrive in because I learned how to go from 3 mentalities. One is scarcity mentality, which is survival, and then the average mentality, then the abundant mentality. Those are the 3 mentalities, and it has nothing to do with your intellect. And the language that's spoken in those 3 mentalities, 80 to 90% of it is nonverbal. And say for example, Rick, if you know nothing about the ghetto and you walk through the ghetto, a gang territory, just the way you walk would speak to them, and they would say, "Hey, he's not from here. Let's go get that one." But if you're from that area, you're speaking a language even when you're not opening your mouth, So in all of the mentalities, there's a language that's spoken. If you're standing, I'll give you another example. If you're standing at a door and you're in a hurry, you'll cross your arms and you'll start motioning towards the door. Whoever you're talking to, they're thinking, man, he's ready to go now. So you don't have to say it, but they feel it and they sense it in the way that you move and the way that you're engulfed or not in their conversation. They realize, man, we need to let this guy go. And you'll notice when I'm talking, I get excited, be like, man, I'm going to have to make somebody quiet here in a minute.
Wow. That's interesting, man. It's funny, man. So are you familiar with this thing called personal development?
Am I what?
Are you familiar with this thing called personal development?
Yes, yes. Yes, sir.
Self improvement, success principles, which you're sort of
Absolutely.
living the principles, right? How important do you think it is for someone to incorporate that into their life, no matter what their area, whatever they do, doesn't matter. No matter what their
Man, let me tell you
occupation is.
something.
What's that?
Man, that is so important. And I don't know if you know this, but I'm also a pastor of a local church here in Salt Lake City.
Wow.
Personal development is one of the most important things that we can do. But it really comes right down to all of those principles of personal development. Real personal development really comes from God, man. It comes from Scripture. But we've repackaged it and we've called it personal development. Like there's a great book out there, one of the best books you'll read. It's called As a Man.
James Allen.
Yeah. But that's a scripture in the Bible. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he.
Wow.
So personal, that's in Proverbs. And so all of the principles of changing your mind, Romans 12, 1 and 2, I'm just going to quote that to you real quick. It says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is the good, the acceptable, and perfect will of God. But it's the renewing of the mind that really changes us, and God is the one that taught us that.
Right. So why is it so difficult for people to do that? Why is it so challenging?
I think the reason why it's so challenging is because we have a mindset, and mindset is really our belief system. It's the core of who we are, and we will fight and we will challenge you when you go against our belief system. We actually have addictive thoughts. We have we have sex addictions, we have alcohol, pornography, we have gambling addictions, we have all of these drug addictions, all these different addictions, and we can sit down with a person and analyze and prove to them how they're wrong. What makes them addiction is they release hormones in their brain, happy hormones or endorphins. And they also develop grooves where your life begins to run by patterns and processes that are developed inside of our belief system. Well, we have addictive thoughts as well. And those addictive thoughts create patterns in our brains, and they also release hormones. For example, if a person is taught kids are to be seen and not heard, they're taught that their whole life. Your brain begins to develop. You personally, I should be seen and not heard. You may have one of the greatest gifts to speak, one of the greatest speakers of all times, but because you've been taught and trained that way, you refuse to speak. And because it's an addictive thought. And whenever somebody says, hey, I want you to speak, then you release survival hormones. You fight against it. And when they say, you know what, you're right, you shouldn't speak, then the happy hormones are released and you agree with whatever's being said. So you may have a gift inside of you that never gets out because of an addictive thought that you have.
Wow, that's pretty powerful. That's pretty profound. So, what is the best way to get people to believe in themselves and to take action and move in the right direction?
One of the first steps is to first realize that every person is created individually, just like our fingerprints, and there's something brilliant about each of us. There's something brilliant about me. When I didn't believe that, I had to trust that there was something brilliant about me. I had to troubleshoot and dig it out. And I'm just like a fish, man. I'm a fish that's laying on the cement. When you look at me, it's ridiculous. You see that one eye looking at you and the tail or the fin flapping. Well, it's ridiculous because I haven't found my water yet. But as soon as you put me in the water, man, nobody can do it like me. Nobody can do it like me. It all makes sense when I find my space. When I find where I'm supposed to be, it makes good sense. You put that fish in the water, man, nobody can do it like him. So I just hadn't found my water yet. And I didn't believe in myself, and I wasn't moving toward the right place. So it's always good to have somebody to believe in you. But even when you don't, if you can just get a little bit of oomph to believe in yourself, to find that water, that's all you need to do, man. And for me, I began to pray. I began to seek God, and, because I didn't really have anybody. So I want to be that one person for other people. That's why I develop programs. I develop books. I teach this stuff, but I live this stuff too, man.
So one of the things that Kobe Bryant said that I was impressed with, and I've been studying him since, even more, I studied him before, but even more since of his passing, with the helicopter accident. He says that we should work to become a better version of ourselves. Now, to me, that's plain, that's simple, that's to the point, and that's something that we all could do. I mean, like when you hear that term, become a better version of yourself, what becomes present for you, Ron Williams?
When I hear that, you say that, ask that question one more time.
When you hear that term, for you, Ron Williams, become a better version of yourself, what becomes present for you?
Well, when I hear the term become a better version of myself, I think about 4 areas of my life, and they're the most important 4 areas: faith, family, fitness, and finances. How can I be better in those areas? What can I do to improve myself? What path can I take to be better at that? And how can I prove, or what would be the outcome of me being a better version of myself? How many people can I touch? How many lives can I change?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow. So one of the questions I like to ask my guests, because do you believe in miracles? Is there such thing called?
Man.
Is there really a thing?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, right. So think about this.
Absolutely.
Think about this. I grew up in Harlem, right? I grew up in a place they call the name of it is called the projects, a housing development, but they call it the projects, right? Literally, right? Literally. So tall buildings. My building has 21 stories, and all the other buildings 21 stories, except for one. There's one building that's only like 14 stories. I don't know why they made this building, the building that we're in now. But anyway, the radio studio that we are talking in now is in the projects, in the community room, in the projects. What do you think? Yeah, what do you think about that? And we're delivering this message, this positive message from yourself, from the projects in Harlem. What exactly? What becomes present for you when you hear that?
When I hear that, I'm gonna tell you what I hear is I wish I was there with you. I wish I was there with you, man. The reason why is because that's where I'm from, and those are the people that I'm after. And one of the things that I had to realize is, like, when I was in the ghetto, in that type of condition, I was drowning, and I couldn't save myself and save somebody else. If you're in a swimming pool and you're drowning, first thing you need to do is get out, throw in a life jacket or throw in a buoy, or learn how to swim and then go back. Well, man, I've learned how to swim now, and that's my passion, is to go back and get my brothers, get my sisters, and say, hey, there is another way. And as young or as old as they could be, it doesn't matter. That's what I do, man. I go back every opportunity I can to say, you know what, there's another way. There's another way. And it has nothing to do with your intelligence. It has nothing to do with how smart you are. But it's like you said earlier, it's a mindset. There are people that are very, very impoverished, that are brilliant when it comes to books, but they don't know how to use what they have. And there are people that are average, that work a 9 to 5, and that's great. And then there are people that are abundant, they think different, they move different. and they draw success to them just because of their mindset. And so to help them change the mindset, develop the actionable beliefs, man, and it's as simple as that. It's not easy, but it is simple. You know, to change your belief system is not an easy thing to do. But once you do, it will change your life. You change your mind, you change your life, man.
I like that. I like that. So, Ron, you know, I'm a guy, I'm from the projects. I grew up in the projects. I don't consider myself to be that smart. I don't consider myself to be highly intelligent like my engineer here. This guy's intellectual. He's on a level of intellectual that's way up there. Intellectually, he's like way up there. He's laughing. I don't know why. You know, just because he did a little time, he thinks that he's not. But he built this studio, so the guy's on another level. So my question is, like I said, I'm not that smart, but I would think that if you have 6 children, I would think that somewhere along the line there's some grandchildren in the process. What do you say about that?
Man, you don't even want to know. I got 21 grandkids.
Woo! Listen, do you need a loan, man? How much you need, man? You need a loan? We're going to do a fundraiser for you, man. Me and Doug here, my engineer, we're going to do a fundraiser for you. 21 grandchildren? Lord,
yes,
man,
sir.
Lord.
Yes,
listen,
sir.
I haven't been to church in a while. I think I need to go to church now, man. I'm ready to go run to the church. Praise the Lord right now, boy.
I'm going to tell you something. With 21 grandkids, you got a church, brother.
Where's the music? I'm ready to get up and dance, man. What's that praise dance thing? I mean, listen, man. Say, Ron. Oh, my God. But that, wait a minute now. Wait a second. That's like a gift that you've been given, man. Yeah. Because now you get the opportunity to put your hand and touch 21 young, oh, my God. That's an amazing opportunity that you have. Do you know the name of my radio program? It's called What's in Your Hand. And what you have in your hand with them 21 grandchildren is, I mean, it's miracle. It's like this studio we in. It's like unlimited possibility. Man, the sky's not even the limit. Wow.
Rick, let me ask you a question. Rick, what did you come up with that name? What's in your hand?
Well, I'll tell you. One day I was at my mother's apartment. Oh, and today's my mother's birthday. How could I forget that? Today's my mother's birthday, February the 16th. So I'm celebrating her birthday, celebrating her life and the work that she's done. One day I was at her apartment, and I'm watching Gil Noble. I don't know if you know who that is. He had a show on TV called Like It Is. It used to come on every Sunday. I believe it was either 12 or 1 o'clock. He used to come on. And this guy he was a phenomenal journalist. This guy was incredible. And he did some incredible shows. And one of the shows he did was about this man by the name of Reverend Dr. Adam Clayton Powell Jr. So I'm sitting there, I'm watching the documentary, very interesting, nice, very interesting story, talking about some of the work that he did. At the end of the show, they show him doing this speech called What's in Your Hand? And he's in Massachusetts, and he gives this speech called What's in Your Hand? And I'm going to send it to Heidi. I want to thank Heidi for this interview today. She made this happen. I want to thank her. But I want to send you a copy of the What's in Your Hand. When I listen to that speech, I pretty much, when I'm at the other station, I play it almost every show, like because I just decided to name the show What's in Your Hand? What's in Your Hand?
Wow, that is beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that brings to mind is that the children of Israel at one time were in trouble, and Moses started praying and talking to God, help us get out of trouble. And God asked him a question. It was that question, what's in your hand?
Right, and, that's right.
I mean, just like that, what's in your hand? And it was a rod. And it was the rod that he held up to the Red Sea that caused the sea to part. So what God was telling him is that the answer is in your hand. You already got it. It's within your means. You've got the answer to your situation. So when you said what's in your hand, I'm like, man, that is beautiful. I love that name.
Ron, I want you to listen to this real quick. We're gonna play something for you.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Hit it. Bam.
All right.
Says about
We're gonna play
30%
something for
are
you.
unemployed. That's
Okay.
why I'm working hard to get this surplus
Hit it.
food here.
Bam.
All right.
Some of you say to me, well, I'm not like you. I'm not a congressman. That's
Okay.
why I'm working hard to get this surplus food here.
All right.
Some of you say to me, well, I'm not like you. But you're a human being. And you know what you've got?
You've got it in your hand.
You've got in your hand the power
The power.
to use your vote.
That is
And
powerful,
to
man.
use
That
even
is
those
powerful.
few cents you get from
Yeah,
welfare.
and that's a message to the young people. You've already got it. There's a group that's covered up. We just gotta do it out, and it's there. Everything you need is within you. It was within you when you were born, but it's been covered up. We gotta uncover it and push forward. Yeah.
Right. So what would you say is in your hand right now?
What's in my hands right now? What's in my hands right now? I hope that I'm utilizing what's in my hands. Man, we're setting up meetings all over the country. Back in Indiana, where I'm from, going back, to get some of those that I feel that belong to me. I believe God gave them to me. There's a place in Kentucky. It's called in the Ozark Mountains, where there are young people, 21 and under, that are homeless, that are living in the mountain in the winter, still trying to go to school. Reminds me of those days when I was on the street, where they're building tiny homes for those people. And I committed to building tiny homes at $15,000 a piece, but they'll house 4 people. Man, I dream about it sometimes at night, seeing 4 people warm, having something to eat, being mentored. But I got to do it, man. I have no choice. So please don't give me something else that I got to do, man, because I start dreaming about it, thinking about it, I can't sleep, man. I think about the homeless people at night. I'll get up in the middle of the night and go take them food, pillows, blankets, and stuff like that. So I hope you're not getting ready to put something on my heart, man.
So, Ron, I need 3 keys to success. Give me 3 keys that people can use that's going to help them be successful in their life. 3.
3 keys.
Yes.
One is most people say believe in God, but it's more than that. See, many of us believe in God. We don't believe in ourselves. We've got to develop a belief in ourselves, which is a real key. Another key is to move from willpower. Move from willpower to mindset. Willpower is a temporary fix. Willpower is like a muscle. You use it so long it gets tired, it gets weak. Some of us have stronger willpower than others. But if you see, willpower is produced to maintain a program. When that program is over, you go right back. But when you move into mindset, it becomes a lifestyle. It becomes what you do. So willpower is like a battery. The mindset and the lifestyle is like the alternator. Once you use the battery for what it's good for, you convert it over to the alternator and it'll run by itself. The battery will wear down, but the alternator normally doesn't. So that would be 2, is move from willpower to mindset. Number 3, I would say, is to continue to grow. Never stop where you are. Continue to grow and realize there's always more out there.
All right. Okay. Wow. Now that's pretty awesome. Now you listen. When you do you ever come to the New York area?
I do. I actually came to the New York area when I met you, man.
Right.
Yeah. So when there's a need for me to come, I come. So is there a need for me out there?
Well, what I'm saying is, if you ever in the area, like you said earlier, I mean, we would love for you to come and be a part of, come in the studio and hang out with us in the studio, man, and maybe even put together a workshop.
You know what, Rick? Instead of saying, if I'm ever there, let's do that, I would say this to you, man. Let's make it happen.
But wait a minute.
Let's just make it happen.
But wait a second. I got to give you fair warning. If you come here to New York in the studio, or we come and we do a workshop, my engineer here, Mr. Doug Frazier, I'm guaranteed he gonna challenge you to a push-up contest. I guarantee you, he gonna challenge you. He gonna see all your muscles, Ron, and he gonna.
Hey, Ron, not gonna happen, Ron. Hey, Ron, you safe, Ron. Not gonna happen.
Oh man, see that's the fake move.
You safe, Ron.
Listen now, I want you to do me a favor before you challenge me. I want you to look this up. Iron, IronChestmaster. That's me. You Rick, but Iron. Iron Chestmaster is a piece of exercise equipment that I developed, and it's specifically made for push-ups. I am the push-up king.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Hey, Ron, nobody challenged you, Ron. He's a liar.
Wait a minute, man. Hold on. Slow down. Wait a minute, man. Wait a second.
Nobody challenged you.
Hold on.
We're going to take an Uber to the bathroom. We're taking an Uber to the bathroom. We're not challenging nobody.
Now, what's the name of this equipment now? What's the name? I need to know the name of this equipment, man.
It's called Iron
Chest.
Chestmaster.
Oh, Iron Chestmaster. Oh, my God. Whoa. Okay. I think he's met his match finally because he's met his...
He's the winner.
Oh, my God. Listen.
If he happened to beat me, then I have to bring my son out, man. He's following in my footsteps.
Don't do that.
Oh my God, the Iron Chestmaster, man. Actually, at my other radio station, right, WACR, we would not be allowed to quote the price of what it costs, but in this station, we can. Is that correct, Mr. Frazier?
That's correct.
So, how much does this piece of equipment cost?
It's $97.99. $119 on Amazon, but come to our website and it's $97.
$97.99.
Yeah, and that's on IronChestmaster.com. Yeah, so
I think I got to get my hand on one of those, man, real quick. Yeah. Because this guy over here talking stuff, man.
Now we got to bring the 9-degree black belt guy in here. Bring that dude in here.
Yo, Ron, man, I want to thank you, man. This has been fun. It's been amazing. And it's a great way to bring it to a crescendo with the Iron Chestmaster.
Woo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yes, sir.
All right.
Hey, Vic, before you go, man, or even after this, I want to know what I can do for you, man. What can I do to help you?
Doug, answer that question. What could Ron do to help us?
Don't challenge us in no push-up contest.
I would say if you're in the New York area, come on through. Let us have your website. Give me your website again.
Okay, it's www.rwchampionlife.com. That's one website.
Yeah.
The book is called Faith and Fat Loss.
Right.
And we have an assortment of products, man. But and then you can go to IronChestmaster.com. You can, that's where the Iron Chestmaster is.
I am so happy that we made this happen. Some interviews you got to fight for, and Heidi fought for this interview. I fought for it, and I'm glad that it happened. And I think the thing that we could do, how you could help us, is just be friends with us, and how we could help you, and you could help us come back again, and teamwork, man. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm thinking let's me and you talk at another time, and let's put something together, man. And I'm coming back to New York.
Okay.
Let's do some workshops. Let's do something that's really going to make a difference and help some people.
Okay, so now I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to challenge you now.
Yes,
this is a Rick Young challenge because I have an issue. I have a problem with myself and others, and the challenge is this: I don't think that we tap into our creative imagination. They said Einstein said imagination was more important than knowledge. We gotta think outside the box. Creativity. That's what I like about the fashion industry. They think outside the box. They think creative. And I think when it comes to fitness, exercise, fat loss, we got to learn how to get creative as possible.
Yes.
Use our imagination, come up with something weird and crazy, because that's the thing that's going to make a difference. Because we hit the right thing, it's all over.
Now, let me say this real quick, man, before you go.
Yeah.
And that is, there's two parts of our mind that are utterly important. One is our memory, and one is memory is always in the past. But our creativity and what we want to do in the future is completely different. If we are in survival mode, creativity is cut off.
Wow,
so
that's interesting.
Because we go primitive, we go primal, and we're trying to survive. When you're in survival mode, it's the opposite of creativity. When we get out of survival mode, we find out how creative we are. I didn't know I could create exercise equipment. I didn't know I could create supplements. I didn't know I could create programs. I had no idea because I lived so many years in survival, how to get from today into tomorrow. That also releases hormones. When an animal is in survival, when a lion or a tiger is chasing prey, they're not thinking of how to be creative. They're thinking, how can I survive from right now? And so when we get out of survival, we find out just how creative we really are. Yeah. And I found I was so creative, man. I've got so many thoughts of creativity, I can't even contain it. But it's when I got out of the survival.
All right, man. Awesome. I want to thank you, Ron. I want to send out praises and blessings to your 6 children. I want to send out praises and blessings.
21 grandchildren.
I want to send out praises and blessings to the 21 grandchildren. You know.
Thanks, my brother.
Yeah. He said, Doug said you're a special guy, man.
Thanks.
All right.
Doug. I'm coming for you, Doug. Push-up contest.
Yeah. All right, Ron. Thank you, man. Thank you, and continue blessings to you and your family. And we're gonna do this, man. It's gonna be a success. I'm claiming it.
Awesome. God bless you, my friend.
All right. God bless you too. All right now.
See you, Doug. Bye-bye.
Yes. All right.
I start thinking things over.
I'm playing this because I'm not going to be complaining because I'm not going to be doing no push-up contest against
Chess Master.
Against the Chess Masters. That's not going to be able to do it.
Not the Chess Master, but the Iron Chess Master.
Whatever he is, I'm not doing it. I'm not complaining either.
Don't you represent Harlem? Don't you represent...
I also represent a successful mindset. And I ain't going against the Iron Chess Master just because you said so.
Don't you represent the Rucker Pro Basketball League? Come on, man.
I'm just one of them. That's it.
Yeah.
One of them. That's it.
One of them champions.
One of them guys. Yeah.
One of them champions.
You know, they did a documentary on Rucker 50 years, and I was on there. It's on Netflix. I was watching it on the Sun with my son, picking out the pictures of myself and all the people. You know.
And you in there?
Yeah, but I mean, you know, I was like a little annoyed because I thought that they should have featured me more. You know.
So why don't you do your own Rucker?
I don't think so. They had pictures where we was actually out there playing.
Yeah.
We played a game with ESPN, and Nancy Lieberman was, they brought her in for the ESPN, and she comes in the game and she walks over to tell me, I got you.
What?
That's what I said. I said, come on now. You know what I'm saying? You ain't all that.
And you was nice to her?
Well, you know, I wasn't trying to rough up the white girl on national TV, man.
But
Still
did
a girl.
You score 40 on her, 50
She's a girl, man. She's a girl. I didn't think of her. I thought that they had a girl out there. I mean, I thought that was a joke.
Okay, so let me just tell you.
That was a joke.
Let me just tell you. One day we was in the park. My granddaughter, she was getting into basketball. She was playing on teams and stuff. So we played a one-on-one. You know what happened. And you know what happened.
You played your granddaughter?
just went to work. All jump shots. Then take it to the basket. She said, you can't take it to you can't take it in. I said, all right. Boom. I was hitting it from the outside.
You're bragging on radio that you beat your
And
granddaughter
then, so
playing
what she
basketball.
tried to do, yeah, I'm bragging. You doggone right. Any win is a win.
The song is for your granddaughter. I won't complain.
It's a win.
By Stevie Wonder.
So she tried to say, she was like sort of big, right? She tried to say, oh, I was only 2 years old. You know, she tried to like act like, but I went to work on it.
Well,
And I had a flashback from the old days. I was
okay.
hitting.
He's hitting them.
She said, you
On your
can't take it
granddaughter.
in. She said, you can't take it inside. I said, oh, okay. Outside. Bam. Right there, the court, right there.
That's crazy.
They were the court right there. I
I
grew
seen
up
the
on
court.
them
I
courts.
seen that court.
I grew up on them courts.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I can't top that. I have with my kids. I have I saved the scouting report for when I saved in the league. So whenever they would get together, they don't do it anymore. They used to talk a lot of crap to me. I whip out the scouting report. So, you know, I got a scouting report about me, and I read it, and they shut the hell up. After I read that scouting
What
report.
does the scouting report say?
The scouting report tells people what they have to worry about, about a particular player.
And what is that?
That's what the scouting report does.
Yeah, but what did your scouting report say?
They said they telling everybody, don't complain when he scores. Said a lot of good things. Well, when they read it, they said, "Oh wow, we got to be quiet. We can't mess with him, man." Because you're a good finisher, a great finisher. Good jump shot. They use words like pray. You good. You doing something when they in the scouting report about you. They say things like pray that he's not hitting the jumper. Come on, they put pray in the scouting report. They put when they put the scouting report against Allen Iverson, they're going to pray that he's not hot with the jumper. Because you're not going to, if a guy like that is hitting the jumper, you're not stopping Allen Iverson. You know what I'm saying?
So
he's so fast and quick and strong.
So is it true that it said that when you left your apartment door?
I said that. I told the coach that. That was a true story.
You was already but
That was
I'm
a true
changing it.
story.
You was already hot
No.
coming out the door.
Nah.
That's what I just said.
No, that wasn't
I
true.
know what you said.
Yeah, that wasn't true. I never said that. I never was like that.
Right, but you said you were open. But I'm saying,
Yeah, 'cause he told me no. He said only he's standing there with the great Gus Williams, NBA champion, and we're both in the back. He said, I got an idea. And I remember I told you, most of the coaches that you play for, they don't never talk to you. They don't say nothing to you. They already know you know everything. You know how to. You don't get to a certain level unless you know what I mean. And so here he is. All of a sudden he's a big game. He wants to put his input in. And he looks at me and he says, Frazier, don't shoot the ball unless you're open. Then I told him, I'm open when I leave my house. Then I looked at the great Gus Williams. I said, what about you, Gus? He thought about it for a second. He said, yeah, me too. And that was it. The coach never said nothing else. So you got to be open as soon as you leave the crib.
so
Right.
I want to know what is so special about this game called basketball.